softwares that he has made. And what we'll be actually sharing is his mainly his experience and the work that he has done up till now, and the future projects that he will be actually getting engaged. We have it's an honor that he was the part of one of those movies, which is or you can say one of those projects which very is very dear to me. Star Wars is something that we grew up while we were kids during our times, and it was one of the inspiration for me to get into this industry. And he has happened to be a part of one of the series of Star Wars. It actually got released last year. I have seen it multiple times on Hotstar. It is a part of Star Wars. If anybody wants to see, you can also see it because I'm actually doing a kind of a promotion for that. But why I'm saying is like it's a proud moment for us that we as Indians have given our contribution in Star Wars, and the title of that mini series is Bandit of Golak. And he happened to be one of the lighting supervisor for that particular project, for which he also won the award, fortunately. So, thank you so much, Ravi, to join us, and it's an honor to have you here with doing a session. And today, it's more of a give and take sort of a thing. Because what I wish to start is like a new series to do some more like for our Gen Z crowd kind of a podcast. We will be also setting up kind of a podcast set very soon, but unfortunately today I was not able to get that room. I'm so sorry about that. But at least we will make it more interactive and we'll make it more interesting for our audience today. मैं actually Hindi or English दोनों में बोलूंगा so that people would be also understanding what we will be doing today. So over to you, Ravi. Please do tell us about your experience up till now. What inspired you to come into the industry, and what made you what you are right now? That's the main question that I would love to hear from you, Ravi.
So, hi, hello everyone. This is Ravindra Adate, and thank you so much, Jignesh, to calling me here in as being a part of industry for almost say 20 year plus now. It's an honor to be here to talk with you all and share my experience. So, definitely, it's a good moment. I love to share whatever I have done and achieved, and in technical as well as in aesthetic sense. So I would be sharing that too. Industry has been very, you can say, very, it is a technical industry for sure, as we are working into a 3D application, as we know, which is Maya, because for that you need to have technical as well as aesthetic sense. So yeah, from childhood, as you asked, that what inspired me to come into this, that I was a very you know, I was a very mischievous child since the beginning. So I have been into this yes, 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 we all are for sure. So it is there, of course. I used to watch a lot of cartoons. Like I mean, whenever I used to go home from my school and every places I have been, there was always Cartoon Network on at that time, and there were crazy cartoons which used to go on. Like my favorite ones were like SWAT Cats and He-Man and all those cartoons, which I don't think so now exist. But yeah, what
No, no, I would correct you over here. It is still existing, but in a very different form.
exactly?
Currently, actually, I'll just give you one, I'll share my experience. My son, he loves He-Man. And he has recently seen a series on Netflix where it's a 2D, of course, series, and it's all about He-Man actually getting rebirth and Skeletor becoming more powerful. Spoiler alert! But that's that's something that these days the story are getting into. So it's not that He-Man is dying anywhere or something like that. It will come back. It will come back in some form or the other. But yes, some of the titles that we had seen earlier are not seen so very often. SWAT Cat is one of those, I would say.
Right.
But some things are getting remade and remade and remade altogether because it's years and years of pop culture.
That is true. I mean, definitely, I agree to you that some of the things are coming back to life. Creators of the previous shows are even into it now. They want really to make it the new way, you can say. So, as I worked on Tom and Jerry, the movie which was released, so I was a lighting supervisor for that too. Which got released in COVID times, right? So it also got a good huge response because it is loving to everyone. Like, I don't think so that there's some a single individual who has not seen Tom and Jerry. So yeah, that is also one big thing which I worked on. So yeah, cartoons made me fascinated since the beginning, and that was my point where I felt that I should get into making of this. So since as a child I was watching it all, so then I felt that when I passed my 12th and the graduation, side by side I felt that I should do something related to that, because eventually my mom is teacher and she always wanted me to become an engineer or a doctor, right? But I was not into it. I was into art, and eventually I found that I should get into it. And of course I got a chance. I got into one institute which was that time very, there were very less institute, as you know, in 2005 2004 times. So one of the institute, they taught me how to model, how to light, how to do texturing and everything. And out of that I selected lighting, because it was something I felt that it's clicking me. Like, even if you have something, a room full of all the architecture and everything, but if you don't have light, then nothing is visible, everything is black, right? So light is very important part of animation industry. Of course everything is important. If you don't have good models, your lighting won't look good. So it is combination of everything, but out of that I chose lighting as a personal experience. So yeah, that was the beginning of my animation career.
I'm sorry. So if I just rewind you on your memory, what was the very first project that you actually did and you felt this is at least a good start? You felt it, yeah, अच्छा start मिला मुझे.
So I think everyone might have seen Noddy, right?
Ah,
So Noddy was my one of the previous projects when I
right.
started
If I'm
animation.
not mistaken, even in the audience, जैसे ही हम लोगों ने नॉडी नाम सुना होगा तो उनके दिमाग में वो फिर बाद में आएगा आ गया नॉडी. So
So
that's one of the best series that we actually seen at that time in Cartoon Network. And Cartoon Network was the uh, you can say like crazy thing that we actually seen in Cartoon Network. And it's sad that Cartoon Network died now.
I was very depressed when that happened. I was like, what is going to happen now? How the kids are gonna grow up without these cartoons, amazing cartoons and amazing shows which we worked. Then along with Noddy, I also worked on the Bob the Builder. So that was also running at that
Interesting.
time. Yeah, it was
Interesting.
there. So I was working with Maya Mel. It was at that time it was Mel, and so Maya Entertainment Limited. So it used to work on Noddy and as well as on Bob the Builder. Also, they were working on one series which was in UK, but that didn't released in India here on Netflix or anything. So that was also amazing series. Same as you can say Noddy only, but yeah, it was for UK. So that was also nice.
Okay, because you actually mentioned Bob the Builder. To be honest, currently even my son is seeing Bob the Builders.
Mute.
Yeah, if you ask me, for me, what current generation is actually seeing, for me, the case study is my son. I'm studying my son. Okay, to be very frank, and when he is actually tuning into this, tuning into that, that makes me Fascinated. Yeah, there are some educational content available right
Of
now.
course, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, they are doing some really wonderful job. But we had a different era. Now they are having a different era.
Because see, nowadays if you see, the challenges and the competition has increased crazily, tremendously. So if you lack on something, definitely someone is going to beat you up and they are going to go ahead. So if you, it is going to be a combination of entertainment as well as of the knowledge. Like if you say Byju's, for example, they make amazing study material, using the animation techniques, using everything what we are doing, and they make it so amazing that viewers are going to stick on their chair and they're going to finish that video or whatever they are seeing. So that is also very important thing. Yeah, so you are right.
Interesting. And say, if I ask you about your experience with Bandit of Golak, why I'm actually again and again, if I'm not mistaken, you must be you have been knowing me from last one and a half year, and I've been talking about the 88 Pictures contribution to Star Wars and various platforms. Okay, why? Because I personally feel it very proud that we as Indian have given our mark in 88 pages. What I'll give you my share you my experience. What I actually read on online is like in Bandit of Golak, the main thing that caught the eye of the world, of the entire those people who are crazy fans about Star Wars, is like they loved the way the lightsaber fight happened.
True, that's
Okay,
very true.
they really loved it, and I don't want to spoil anything, but if those people who have not seen it, but what we actually found amazing is like it was giving a Indian martial art kind of a look to it,
Yes,
and later on, even some of the interviews they actually said that they used Kalaripattu as one of the inspiration to
that's
do
true.
the of lightsaber.
Correct. So, just coming back to Bandits of Golak. So, here, everyone, if you have Hotstar, you can go on Hotstar. You can go to Visions, which is by, of course, by Lucasfilms. So, go to Visions, season 2, episode 7. That is Bandit of Golaks, which you will find it there. It has been released in last 2 years, back 2 years, I think 1.5 or 2 years. Yeah. So if you see, as you're right, we have used Kalaripattu art, which is the ancient form of fighting, which has been happening in India only specifically. So yes, we are proud of that, and we have used bits and pieces of Kalaripattu, and we have reformed the fighting sequences which has been done. So we had hired some fighters which are traditional Kalaripattu fighters. They have been getting trained since their life, and they have been doing that now. So we had hired them. We saw how they are doing, what they are doing, what are the main techniques, and then we achieved that. We tried to do that in our animation and we did that. So yeah, that was one thing for sure. Second thing, I am big fan of Star Wars for sure. So we are on the same boat, as you know. We came from the same era, so we share the same, energy and likes and dislikes, of course. So Star Wars was one of the projects where it was my dream project basically. So when I got to know, when I got selected for Star Wars, I was very happy. I was crazily happy that I got selected for a Star Wars. Eventually, we were not knowing that it is going to happen for Star Wars because it was kind of a secret. And then my boss Milind, he told me that, you know what, we are working and for whom we are working. And I asked him, no, tell me. And he said, we are working for Star Wars series. And I was like, seriously? Oh my God. And
That must
that
be a
was like a dream.
goosebump moment.
Yes, yes, yes. It was like dream coming true, working on such series. And then yeah, of course, the confidence and the motivation was double. So it was like a story. See, like everyone has watched Star Wars, right? I think so.
Let me just correct you over here.
Yeah.
Many people, Gen Zs, they have heard about Star Wars, but they haven't seen it.
Okay.
Many of them are there. I'm so sorry to tell you this, but this is true. And when they see it, all right, and when they follow the entire series, they love it.
So
I mean, I would say what's not there to love it. That's it. What.
just to tell you all, whoever has not seen Star Wars, just go and watch any random episode, or they have multiple, series of movies, because they have this multiple universe where many things are happening. There are multiple, there are multiple fighters who are very special, and they fight for their caste, for their tradition, for multiple things. And then there is Darth Vader. Oh, so it's not a spoiler, but yeah, he is like a god villain. So please go watch that, and I'm sure you're gonna love it. So when we got a chance to work, so I'll tell you the story that how Star Wars, the Bandits of Golak happened. So, can I? Okay, sure. So, when we got this final that we are going to work, so 88 Pictures was the only company who got signed with Lucasfilms, who are the makers of Star Wars. So every country have one story which they have to create. Star Wars was one of the project which 88 Pictures did from the scratch. So the design was from 88 Pictures. So pre to post, everything we did on our own. 88 Pictures, including the art, including the look of the picture, including everything. We said that we will present the Indian Star Wars version. So Lucasfilms wanted that only, that if Star Wars happen in India, how it will be. So if you have seen Star Wars, they have multiple stories accordingly their countries. So everyone has their own different ideas, and they present it that way. So Star Wars from India, when we selected, then go and watch it on Hotstar. I'll not give you any spoilers, but it's a story of a brother and his sister, and they're traveling along, and they're going through a journey, and that journey is gonna get interesting more when you'll go and watch it. I'll not give you any spoiler, but yeah, go and watch it. It's Indian version of Star Wars, and I'm sure you're going to like it, because the art which we did for that series was different. Like, I'll tell you one thing: whenever you'll play that series, and you pause on any frame, and you feel that it's a painting. Okay, you pause any frame, there is motion, but there is everything, but you pause any frame and you'll feel that it's a painting, handmade painting. So that was a technology which we used, that we'll talk about it later. So yeah, that was a Star Wars
By
thing.
our enthusiasm, many of the people would be saying, "अच्छा इतना है तो देख लेते हैं यार क्या है इसमें?" Because मैं जहां भी जा रहा हूँ मैं एटलीस्ट बोल रहा हूँ यहाँ पर लोगों को कि बॉस we did it. This was one of our country's proud contribution to 88 to the Star Wars franchise. ऐसा कोई नहीं बोल सकता कि like over here we are I mean नॉट सीइंग स्टार वॉर्स और यहाँ पर डाई हार्ड फैंस नहीं है यहाँ भी है लेकिन सिर्फ इतना ही है कि लाइक हम लोगों ने हमेशा उनके वर्जन को देखा अमेरिकन वर्जन को ज्यादा देखा हम लोगों ने यूरोपियन वर्जन को एक टाइम पे देखा बट जब आप आई मीन जॉर्ज लूकस की बातें अगर सुने तो उन्होंने कहा है कि उन्होंने बहुत सारे कैरेक्टर्स का जो इंस्पिरेशन है वो हमारे रामायण से लिया
Correct. So
है
just to add to you on the same story. So when we did all the color art and everything, our boss and our art directors, Nilesh Sardesai, who went Lucas Films. So they went there for the final screening, and for the color and DI has happened in Lucas Film Art के studio में. So they went there LA में, वहाँ पे बहुत बड़ा ऐसा, it's a trench, so it has got multiple studios. आप वहां पे अगर जाओगे, या आप अगर ऑनलाइन भी देखोगे तो आपको समझेगा. इट इज कॉल्ड लुकस ट्रेंच. सो इट विच हैज गॉट मैनी स्टूडियोज, बिकॉज वहां पे कभी ना एवरी डे देर इज अ शूट हैपनिंग ऑफ सम ऑफ द अदर स्टार वॉर्स मूवीज. Yes, so they have this multiple things happening every day. So वो वहां पे गए, they were kind of lost कि कहाँ पे जाना है, because it is so huge. Then somebody guided them, and they finally got to meet the makers of Star Wars. Then they showed it to them, they reviewed all these things, and those makers of Star Wars, they were so happy to see the Indian version of Star Wars. I mean, they were like, we have never thought of this, and this has come out so well. And I mean, they congratulated our bosses and
No,
our art
actually,
director.
let me add you. It was an internet sensation. You have to see. I would say, still, people would be love to see that particular version continue. If you
Yes,
ask me, अगर उसी को अगर आपने और कंटिन्यू बनाया और फिर बाद में एक अलग वर्जन ऑफ स्टार वॉर्स, इवन एज अ लाइव एक्शन, यू नेवर नो, ठीक है, इवन एज अ लाइव
possible.
एक्शन भी अगर सपोज उसी को अगर डेवलप किया गया कि वो लड़की की स्टोरी को और आगे अगर बताया गया कि वो कैसे अपने आप को डेवलप कर पाएगी
Correct.
इनिशियली,
Yeah, yeah. There is
अगर
a huge and tremendous scope where
उसको
that series can go very big. And it all depends on Lucasfilms now, that if they want to go with the story and develop and build the whole series out of one story, which is really possible. But definitely now it's Lucas ka call that they'll do it or not. But yeah, there is scope for sure.
Yes. उसमें उसमें हमारा भी कंट्रीब्यूशन होना बहुत जरूरी है, मेक इट पॉपुलर, उसको
Yeah,
और
yeah.
पॉपुलर बनाइए, अपने फ्रेंड्स और अपने बच्चों, अगर इस पैनल में अगर आपके किड्स हैं, आपके कजिन्स हैं, आपके कोई बच्चे हैं, उनको एक बार तो दिखाइए, ट्रस्ट मी, उनको अच्छा लगेगा, मेरे मेरे बेटे को भी अच्छा लगा, वो सीरीज उसको रियली अच्छा लगा, ऐसा था ना, ही वाज आस्किंग फॉर द कैंडी. Spoiler alert, he was asking for that candy. So, anyways, thank you very much for sharing that particular part. And I'll just showcase what exactly 88 pictures have been doing up till now, as Ravi was kind enough to share the work. This is the small clip regarding that.
5 more sleeps. I'm ready for you, Christmas.
As long as everything went exactly to my plan, this was going to be the best Christmas yet.
Michael's here. They're staying for Christmas.
Huh?
That wasn't part of my plan.
Uh,
5 days packed full with all my favorite Christmas stuff. The clock was ticking, and everything had to be perfect.
5 more sleeps till Christmas. This December on NBC.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
It's okay, Jumbo. I didn't think. I became.
Tomes!
We are troll hunters.
Magic!
blue stone inside will. It's what you saw in your visions. If I break the amulet, it will lead us to Merlin's tomb. For the glory of Merlin.
You're an alien?
Yep.
You can fly?
Nope.
What?
My soul shattered, like my kingdom.
Thank you, Ravi, for sharing that. And we would like to,
Yes.
actually, I would like to love to see what exactly went through as a production pipeline in making all these projects. I mean, what exactly, any kind of a challenges that you actually faced in any of the projects? Do share your experience on while working on these.
So, thank you, Jignesh, for sharing the beautiful work. So, the work which you have seen are the multiple projects, like starting with the Five Sleeps, which was the first clip which you saw, where this small kid is in his bed and he is waking up, and then he sees that there is a Christmas is going to be. That was an amazing show done by, it was produced and written by Jimmy Fallon, who's the actor and director also, and yeah, Jimmy Fallon, who runs a show also, which is
Yeah,
very
yeah, he's
famous.
run, yeah, Jimmy Fallon show.
Correct,
Yes,
the
yes.
Jimmy Fallon show. So he wanted something very special and very happy. So if you see that series, you will see that there is so much happiness in overall the movie. The look and feel of that is supposed to be happy. Even that the kid is crying, but still that show or the look has to look like it's very happy. So yeah, multiple challenges we faced in that, where you have seen there is this outline which is a crooked outline, right? If you see that, yeah, you can share any frame of that. So go to first frame where, yeah. So now as you can see, there is this outline on the character, right? The main character has this outline. Now this outline was a big challenge, like the director didn't wanted the characters to have that 3D look. Now this is, as we have added this outline, it is breaking the 3D look, like the that plain proper 3D look, it's breaking that. So that was very, exactly, yeah, crayon painting or some kind of a effect. So we achieved this. It was a very much tough job to get this done, because this is the outlines which you are seeing is a 3D mesh. So we created this every, yeah, that is called point cloud, which we generated from FX department. And then we used to import every shot. We had imported these 3D mesh, and that was really a pain. As you know, you have worked in FX, so every shot you go create these lines or create this mesh for that character, then import it out in lighting, then get them into render layers and render it out. Then once you are render, there are always jitters, right? Whoever is familiar with this jittering or this aliasing issues might know this, that there is these jitter issues which usually occurs when you have the smaller mesh particles or mesh or whatever, which is very close and which has got this deformation. It will definitely jitter. So if you play this along, there is jitter, but that was the style. So that was, yes, so that was the benefit for us, that client was okay with it because he said that yeah, it's a style which is defining it. It is different. Yes. So huh, you're on mute. Yeah.
Sorry. So as I told you, I did notice that there is a jitter, and I can see that there is a lot of jittering on the frame part and a lot of things over here. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. So
Yes.
you are telling me that the client loved this.
Yes.
This work.
So we went back to client when we achieved this look. So we got the look finally. We were happy with it. But then we went back to client. We asked them that yeah, this is the final look. So what do you think? So he was like, oh, he was like, oh, I loved it. And we told him that there are these jitter issues on the point cloud which we have used, and he was like, no, that's okay. That totally works for me because it is going to. He asked us only one thing, that whether this is going to be only in this shot or this is going to be throughout the movie. And we were like, what to answer him now exactly, because that again depends that what he will react. And one of our supervisors said no, this will be throughout the movie, because eventually the same technique is gonna get used for every movie, all the shots. And he was like, oh, then I'm totally glad, I'm totally fine with it. And because this is giving a different look, and if you see, you will not notice it until and unless I tell you.
Yeah.
You will think that it's an effect which has been
Effect.
applied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was actually looking like an effect. And I was about to ask you that whether you have used any sort of an artistic render to do this, or it's just coming out by natural.
No. So yeah, this was an attempt done by our one of the FX supervisors, and he showed it to our art directors, and art director was very happy. But the when he rendered out the sequence, he got to know that it is going to move, and there the problem starts. Like when as you all know, in CG industry, uh, none of the movements, even in the static, are not allowed. So that is considered as an error. So that was the one troubling factor which we told them. And our art director was like very chill. He was like, that's okay, this is looking fine, I think we can sell it off. And then we sent it to the client, and eventually they got happy, like very
Happy.
much happy. And we were like passed
Quite
through that. Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
very
quite interesting.
that day
यानी जो
we
हमारा इंडिया इंडिया में कहते हैं झोल काम कर
काम कर गया,
गया
जुगाड़.
जुगाड़ काम कर
Yes.
गया
So just to reiterate, that jugad is one term which all the lighters have been
right.
doing,
Hmm.
because we as you have seen, we come on the end of the pipeline. So our pipeline is designed like art, and then modeling, texturing, surfacing, animation, rigging, effects and all, and then lighting comes in. So the last 3D department is the lighting. So all the data comes into lighting, and then we render it out and we make it again 2D, right? The
Okay.
whatever we renders is a 2D, and till the time it everything is 3D. So that way we make it 2D, and then we send it to comp. So yeah, till the lighting, we can do all the जुगाड़, everything, because बहुत जुगाड़ करना पड़ता है शॉट निकालने के लिए, to
ये
get it
तो
from
यार
all the
हमने देखा
departments.
है हमने भी काम किया
Yeah,
तो
yeah, yeah.
जुगाड़ यानी कि आज की आई वुड से समथिंग कि आज के दौर में लोग है ना थोड़ा ओपन होते जा रहे हैं मतलब वो लोग ये नहीं देख रहे कि एकदम क्लीन क्लीन होना चाहिए नहीं नहीं भाई थोड़ा अगर एरर भी आ गया ना तो उसे थोड़ा वो नेचुरल लुक दे
Correct.
समझते हैं बिकॉज इवन इफ यू दोज पीपल हु आर एक्चुअली लर्निंग और इन द ऑडियंस मैं आपको ये बोलूंगा कि ये ना आर्ट के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि आर्ट किस तरीके से आप दर्शा रहे हो आर्टिस्ट अपने आप को किस तरीके से प्रेजेंट कर रहा है कई बार क्या हो जाता है कि अगर उसने खाली एक एम्प्टी व्हाइट पेपर पे खाली एक स्ट्रोक भी मारा रहता है वो मॉडर्न आर्ट दिखना शुरू हो जाता है
Correct.
अलग अलग एंगल से फिर उनको अलग अलग चीज नजर आती है दैट्स द मेन थिंग
और सबसे सबसे ऊपर होता है कि आपको जो भी चीज कर रहे हो, बना रहे हो, क्रिएट कर रहे हो, वो आपको बेचना आना चाहिए. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज इफ यू आर नॉट अ गुड सेल्स पर्सन who have to sell his work, then it is going to be very difficult. So that is also one art. So
मैं उसका उसका एक सीक्रेट मैं चाहिए तो बता देता हूँ आपको उसका सीक्रेट ये है, यू हैव टू बिलीव इन योर
that's
प्रोडक्ट। इफ
true.
यू बिलीव इन योर प्रोडक्ट कि वो रियली अच्छा है, आपने उसके ऊपर अगर काम किया है, ठीक है, तो आपकी एंथुजियाज्म ही इनफ होती है वो प्रोडक्ट को सेल करने के लिए। दैट इज द मेन
That's
थिंग। अगर
very
आप
true.
बिलीव, अगर अगर इफ यू डोंट बिलीव इन द इन योर आर्ट, द वर्क दैट यू दैट समवन हैज क्रिएटेड, और चलो किसी और ने बना दिया, जैसे मैंने, हाउ वी आर एक्साइटेड अबाउट स्टार वॉर्स, व्हाई, at the end of the day it's a product, but we believe in the story, हमें वो स्टोरी रियली पसंद आती है, उसके कैरेक्टर्स पसंद आते हैं, इस वजह से अलग अलग उनके वेब सीरीज भी बने,
Yes, true.
इसीलिए। Right, interesting. So, tell me something about how you achieve such huge data. अगर आप ये सारे workflows जो आपस में जुड़ते हैं, तो what kind of a tool you use for your production pipeline part?
So, just to come on that, as I work with a studio called 88 Pictures, which is a very big studio in India right now. So they have this amazing pipeline, which is called Space 8, which is based on Linux, of course. So we have multiple types of operating systems. We have Windows also, we have Linux also. And based on the client's requirement, like some of the client, like if you see DreamWorks, they usually work with the Windows pipeline. They have been doing it since 15-20 years. They are only working on Windows. Also they work on the V-Ray instead of Arnold. So they have
Oh,
these two divisions. DreamWorks
so
has,
this DreamWorks
yeah,
project, this one,
correct.
what's this DreamWorks project called?
This is called Troll
Troll
Hunters.
Army,
It's the
Troll Hunter.
movie. Yeah, Troll
Troll
Hunters,
Hunters.
the epic tales of Troll Hunters. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was,
I think it's there on Amazon,
it's
if I'm not
there on the
mistaken.
Netflix if you see.
Netflix also.
So
Yes.
there's this Troll Hunters Travelogy also, which we did. So there were these three seasons containing 10 episodes each. So that is Troll Hunters Travelogy. And after that, there is this movie, that Epic
Oh,
Tales of Troll Hunters.
Troll Hunters.
Correct.
Okay.
So DreamWorks has these two divisions. One works only for the movie section, and the other one works for only series sections. Now the
Mm.
series section guys, they work with Windows, and they will only use V-Ray because their pipeline is set like that, because they have been designing their pipeline since 10 to 15 years now. They have been modding it also. They have been altering it, and they have been designed it that way. Now if you see the movie section, Troll Hunters movie division, they are open to work, like they are open to for the suggestions. They can work on Linux also, like
Mm.
a studio like us have Linux pipeline. So the movies which we worked for DreamWorks animation, the movie section are worked in Linux, and the
Uh,
series like Fast and Furious we did we did Fast and Furious, we did
Transformer.
Transformers. No, that is Nickelodeon.
Uh,
So we did again. There was Dragon Rescue Riders. So if you go on Netflix and search Dragon Rescue Riders, you will see that series also. That has been done only in Windows and plus V-Ray. So they have this set pipeline. So coming back to your question, Jignesh, the pipeline is very important. Like when, as I said, pre and post, there are these two types. So pre starts with your modeling, and then your texturing, surfacing, you can call, or rigging, till the time the asset is getting built. Okay, so everything has to be validated, right? If you are sending a model and it has got no UVs done properly to a surfacing department, it is going to be rework. So our pipeline does not allows only to send that model, to publish that model to a next department. So that way the pipeline has been designed. And then once you do the publishing, once you do the UVs properly, and when you are okay with your UV mapping, then only you can submit, and then only you can publish that file to the next department. Then surfacing will get that, and then surfacing will work on that, because he will be having the UVs done, so he only has to work on the surfacing part, where we can also use Substance, which is one of your software. So Substance or there's another software called Mari also. So whatever works for the show or for the client, because every client has a specific requirements every time. So as I said, DreamWorks work with um, V-Ray section as a rendering engine, and the other section of DreamWorks work only with the Arnold section. So you need to get that confirmation from the client itself. So as I said, that pipeline is really important. It plays a massive role in the huge production. So like we have shows which are going running for like 1.5 years. Like for example, you asked Transformers. Transformers starts and it usually goes by say 1.5 years. The duration of the show is going to be 1.5 years, because it's a 10 episodic series. So one season will have 10 episodes.
Is
So
it released already?
one season has been released, which is season 2. Season 1 is also released, but that was not done by us. It was done in some other studios previously. So we did season 2 recently, and we are working on season 2.5, which are 5 episode series. Which has happened because of the, of course, writer strikes, and many things have been happening. So I'll not get into that, but yeah, we are working on the second and a half, like 2.5 season right now. So yeah, pipeline is very important, guys. You need to learn about pipeline, that how the any file has been transferred to one department to another department, next department, I must say, and how it is gonna end in lighting. So that is really important. So you have to do all the checkpoints, which are as mentioned, the UVs have been done, or delete history by type. So that will not give an issue in rigging. When that model will go to rigging, if it has a rig, then definitely it will work smoothly. If doesn't have history, these are very small and minute things, but that makes a lot of difference in pipeline for sure. Mute.
So, say if I have to ask, like Maya and Arnold as one of the pipelines that you mentioned, do you think the artistic stylization is possible in Maya and Arnold while working?
Yes, yes, it's definitely possible. Artistic stylization, uh, eventually, as you said, that artistic stylization, that means the artist has to finalize a style. The artist has to build a style. There are multiple different so you can say softwares or plugins which are available in the market, which gives predefined styles, and that you can just download, or that you can just buy, purchase, and then you can use that. Otherwise, if you don't want to go for that route, then you can, in Maya, you can create your own shaders. So like a lighter has to be good shading artist also, if you ask me. A lighter has to be good shading artist, a lighter has to be good compositor as well. So because eventually it's an output, right? As you said earlier, that output which is pleasing yourself, then it can please to others. So eventually you have to finalize on your work, and you have to get it done until and unless you are happy, and then you can send it ahead. Then the next person is going to like it.
Of course, because see, while people work in department, if I ask, if I share my experience, actually, I've been journalist. I've been doing everything, right from modeling, lighting, texturing, which was my forte. Frankly, my forte was modeling, lighting, texturing. Okay, and animation and rigging is the another department, and then rendering is another department. Now, if you see in the context of the current working pipeline, everybody works in a different department. But when we started our career, we had to work everything.
Yes,
We
it's
had to do
same.
everything. We had to do everything, each and every part that way. So many of the people do struggle a lot while they are actually working on all the part. It's like jack of everything but master of none. People say that way. But if my personal experience is like that, you might not be master of one, but you know how to be master of that particular one.
That is very, yeah.
Because see, if you know how you can be a good modeler, how you have to keep on practicing, and do these things. The hours of practice that you actually, or the hours of things that you apply to that particular department, that makes you master. That's what I feel. But at the end of the day, when you are working on all the departments, you can actually see how a movie is being made. You can feel the pain of the other department.
That's true.
That because if you say कि हाँ भाई अरे ठीक है ना चल मैंने मॉडल बना दिया तू इसको जरा यूवी फाड़ दे। अरे भाई तूने मॉडल ठीक से बनाया है कि नहीं है तब जाकर वो यूवी फाड़ पाऊंगा। तूने अगर मॉडल में ही अगर बहुत सारे अगर से सपोज मिस्टेक्स करके रखा है यूवी ठीक से नहीं फटेगा। Earlier last year we had an animator on our show, and he also shared a very bizarre experience of him, that he got a very pathetic looking model. Maybe he might have downloaded from the client. The client must have downloaded it somewhere, and he has given it कि भाई मेरे को ये मॉडल के ऊपर रिग करके और एनिमेट करके दे. The the model was so pathetic, but still he was able to manage to rig it and animate it and do a justice to his work. So that's his art, no doubt about it. But he had to go through a pain of doing a rigging and animation of that particular part.
Yeah, that is very understandable, because as I said that as a lighting artist, I have been a hardcore lighting artist. I have done everything, of course. As I started my career, I was a generalist too, but then eventually I loved lighting, so I said let's continue with this one stream. So but eventually, as I said, that we come into the end of the pipeline. We know that how everyone has been struggling, right? How a modeler is struggling, how animator is struggling, how surfacing guy is struggling, how a rigger is struggling, because I have been a part of all the meetings which happens in the office. And being a lighting supervisor, I have been attentive to all the meetings, all the problems, all everything. So I get to know that, yeah, these guys are facing this issue, and this is happening because of this. So
Yes.
everything is eventually interconnected. So it's always good to have the knowledge of the whole pipeline, guys. That is very important, because eventually if you know problems, you can solve it on your own. Sometimes it happens that I need to send 50 shots one day, and I have been facing some issue, and I will tell my artist that, see, instead of this, you can take this version of the shaders and you can assign it manually for this, for today itself, and then get it to the rendering, because otherwise we won't get some renders by Monday. Otherwise it is not going to possible, and then I will be struggling to complete the quota which has been communicated to my production, and then eventually client, right? Everything works in a very tight schedule in our industry. As you know, time is money actually in our industry, because if you will not send something to the client which has been promised to them, which is there on the contract, then you have to get the scrutiny. You will get the money that you have to pay to client, instead you will get the money for the work. So that is also there. So please, guys, understand the timelines which has been assigned to you. That is very important. And on top of that, I will add that my Maya is my one of the best softwares which I have been working since 20 years now. I like when I started, that was Maya 3. Eventually after one, Maya 3 got released. So Maya 3 was very crazy, very hardware-ish software which we started, and then eventually 5, and then 2008, and these all, and now we are working into 2024.
Five.
5 now,
The
5 has
latest version
released.
is
Yes, yes.
2025.
So
And if I ask you like for your production pipeline, how in order to coordinate, I do know that you use very extensively short grid, which is not short grid anymore now.
short,
It is flow, uh,
right?
FLP,
FLO.
F, FPL actually.
Okay.
That's it. But it's not a short grid anymore.
It is not yet released, but I guess
No, it has been released.
it is released, because it was shotgun from the
Earlier.
beginning, and then it became short grid, and
Hmm.
now, as you said, it is going
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I can show you something about what exactly the short.
Sure, sure.
grid is now this. It is flow production tracker, FPT.
Okay, okay. FPT.
Autodesk FPT remains the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have
More or less,
changed.
they remains the same, FPT. But the name has been changed to FPT, Production Tracker. And what I can actually share you here is like they are going to be more intensive things going to happen in flow. It's that the flow based pipeline वो लोग और ज्यादा अच्छे से सेट करने वाले हैं so that जो प्रोसेसिंग का जो टाइम आपको लगता है in animation, in your retopology, in your simulation, वो सब बैकग्राउंड में क्लाउड ही कर देगा.
Correct. So
So that's
that's
the future now, but
yes.
it's still in the process.
Yeah. As you mentioned, I'll also add the Foundry, the Nuke. So now there will be Nuke 16, which will be launched soon. So recently, one of the main members of Nuke had visited us, and they also gave us a demo where
Hmm.
actually the way we are working, for example, say in Katana, for, if you're doing the multi-shot workflow, is
It's more of the composite
going to
engineering.
integrate it in Nuke also. So where
Okay.
Nuke, you just have to load one shot and your multiple shots are gonna get done at the same time. So things are changing, then things are changing rapidly. So it is really important that you also change, because as I mentioned that we were working on Maya 1 and then 3 and then 5 and on, and now we are on 25.
25,
So
25.
things are going to change. Of course, there are multiple things. The render setup is changed drastically. As if you ask me about lighting, the render setup is very different now. Eventually, previously we used to create a single layer for single object or character or set, but now there are these render setups which does the kind of similar thing, but it is well integrated.
Hmm.
Also, the things are changed after 2012 when they integrated EXR, right? EXR
Yes, sir.
is it has been created by Lucas again in
Uh,
2012,
right.
where you can actually work in multi
Multi
passes
passes and
at
nodes.
a multi passes render image in one, which was a very very big achievement and which was a very very big help for ours, for the lighters, for animation department. So yeah, that is also one thing. Okay.
Right, right, right. So, if I may ask you, as the technology is evolving, sooner or later, we are actually moving towards AI. Now, when it comes to AI, people find it threat. Some people find it like if everything is going to get into AI, then what's the future of animation? What is the future of movie making? If we actually see in that way. But what I personally feel here is like every new technology is a threat for an artist first. But once the artist learns that technology, he is happy to use it very extensively.
Yes, so I know, I mean somehow I knew that this is going to come, because eventually as you said that everyone is threatened. Yes, when Microsoft started computers, everyone was like against them. Why the computer is going to work, why not a man who's going to actually sit and fill the forms for someone else, rather now computers are filling and then everything is getting filled in computers. But then eventually it got evolved, right? Everyone started using it, everyone has laptops and PCs and everything, tablets and all, and
And
mobile.
mobile,
and
and
mobile mobile is nothing but a small computer, right?
computer.
So yes, so eventually that was a threat for people, but eventually when they accepted it with a warm heart, now it has been a habit to everyone. Now no one can live without phone, or who's working now they can't live without the laptop or computer or anything, right? So that's the same way I think AI is going to be operated soon, because AI has been created by human, right? Eventually it controlled by human, like whatever command you are going to give, it is going to be done through your command only. It is going to take some of the references which has been done already on internet, and then it is going to create something for you. So of course AI is going to be helpful, I feel, because eventually, if you, of course, it is going to cut down on some labor work. Like there are many things which has to be done manually to us. Even in the pipeline, as you as we were talking about pipeline, there are many things which has to be done manually, and I think those things can be cut down by AI. By using the AI, definitely those manual work will get cut down. So then there are possibilities that out of 10, maybe 7 people will work. That is possibility. But that is how the evolve the that is how we evolve, right? That is what human race have been evolving throughout. So I think it is not going to be a threat for animation industry or for gaming or for any industry, I feel. But it is going to be helpful only, and that's my strong and positive appearance for the AI. And I'll be happy to use that for sure. Yes.
So, to the audience, if you have any questions or anything that you would like to ask our speaker, please do write into the chat, and we will be happy to, more than happy to address those questions. Please, I would encourage you guys to write all your questions and or whatever that you want to ask to our speaker or me for that matter. Please do write into now, as we are moving on to our last few questions, Ravi, what would you actually suggest to the people to develop their skills in whatever work that they do, especially if they are working in animation, if they are working in VFX? What kind of a skill set, or you say, what kind of a, skills they should acquire for the rest of their life? That they should do this for the rest of their life. What would you say that, Ravi?
Uh, yeah, that's a good question. But firstly, I will reply to the two messages which have raised
Right.
here.
Okay.
So one is by Lakshmi Narayan. Are you using Blender in your pipeline?
Uh,
Lakshmi, yes, we are using Blender. So we have been using actually all the softwares in our studio, and we have pipeline for mostly all of them. So we have these templates which we have been using for specific softwares. So like as you asked, Blender, recently we did some show which was there on Blender. So we have to create like there we had say around 850 shots to be delivered within say 3 months, and that's a very tight schedule. So if you don't have a pipeline, you are not able to deliver that.
but that's where my question here is,
Okay.
say if you want to integrate the Blender sort of a software into current pipeline, how difficult it is or how easy it is?
uh eh, to reply on that, that it is difficult, no, it is not difficult, it is technical more,
Uh,
because everything is going to change as per the software. The templates, if you are into coding, you will definitely know the templates are going to change, the script is going to change for the specific XYZ software. For example, Unreal, if I'm, instead of Blender, I'm using Unreal, then I need to work on a folder based, like Unreal works on a project base, right? So
just like Maya also works in
no,
the
but
project.
Unreal works differently. Project based,
Uh,
as uh, in Unreal, you have to create a whole project, which will contains many things, everything, in fact. And
Yeah, that's where what I want to add. When it comes to Maya, when it comes to 3ds Max, even there, the project making process is very important. If you don't do those kind of a thing, there is a high level of chances that your file can get corrupt. Now, this is the
correct.
technical aspect that
So,
I'm trying to.
yeah, just to add to you on that, when we are creating a project for say Maya or Max, what we do usually as a studio, we create a generic drive for the specific project. Like for example, if you ask me Transformers, okay, now I'll create a home transformer drive where my everything is dumped in, which is going to get used, and that is going to be used as a project. Now there are multiple users, like there are 1,000 users who are going to access that. So their default project is going to be the same, which is been home, which we have selected,
That's
and
the
then
yeah.
you don't have to then create a different project. Only the user based folder is going to get created, and then their data is going to save that way. Now if you go to Unreal, it is different. Unreal may the whole project needs to be copied to a specific user. Then what is going to happen, it is going to increase the size of the data. Like if I have a shot, like a master shot which has got 4 or 5 child shots, which is somewhat around 60 GB data. Okay, now that 60 GB data, if 10 artists are gonna work on that, like animation, lighting, modeling, texturing, all these multiple artists are going to work, then that 60 GB has to be copied in each and every user. It is going to be 600 GB data. So Unreal has a different way to work.
Unreal
So
is much more heavy.
yeah, it's not heavy, but the way they work is different.
Right.
Yeah, so for that they have a different software to where they can
Manage.
correct to manage the data. And short grid is somewhat not that they that capable to handle their that pipeline data
Of
of
Unreal.
Unreal.
Of Unreal.
Yes,
Oh,
rest
okay.
of
Okay.
all the
That's
software.
something that
Correct,
even Shortgrid is saying that we are not so much into Unreal.
correct.
But yes, they
They
have
have, yeah.
been into
So
Maya. They have been with
correct. They are into everything except
except Unreal.
Unreal. So Unreal users usually use Perforce.
Acha,
So
acha.
they Perforce is very well connected with Unreal.
Unreal. No, there was if Unreal works with Autodesk,
Right.
okay,
Mhm.
then there is a bit of a chance,
Possibility that
possibility that
they, yes, and
it's a
yeah,
technical
yeah,
understanding between the software goal
correct.
that actually
So
happens.
yeah, Lakshmi, coming back to your question, yeah, we are using Blender in our pipeline.
All right, we have
Then
a next
next
question that
question is just Ajay Rawat says, hi sir, you explain the production environment. Yes, so Ajay, specific needs, yes. DreamWorks, as I mentioned, that they have their two divisions. One works specifically only for the movies, and second, they only work on the series. Now, series has a different team, and movies has a different team, and their development, their scripting, their coding, their shading, their modeling, everything has been built differently the way they want, and they have been doing it only on the Windows. Hence they are doing it Windows and V-Ray. So rendering engine, they use it as a V-Ray. So that's why they they are using Windows and V-Ray. And animation, they are very sorry, excuse me. It's okay. So in animation, they have been using Arnold from the beginning. So that's why they have Arnold, and they are okay to work in Linux as well or Windows. But as our studio has a Linux pipeline, we do it in Linux. So Ajay, yeah, that's the answer.
I would like to ask one more question on based
Sure,
on this
sure.
itself. Say V-Ray is also there in Linux, and you are able to render it smoothly out there,
No,
or
we are using V-Ray on Windows,
uh,
not on Linux.
no, on
Yeah, I
Linux.
think the integration. V-Ray for Linux is not available yet.
Yes. Because why I asked this specific question here is because it's a trend right now. Many of the big movies, they are working on Linux, right? So for Linux, you really require that kind of a compatible rendering solution, the compatible 3D software that works along.
So the whole infrastructure has to be very much very well actually for Linux. Why we use Linux? Because Linux is very much sorted comparatively Windows. So that's the reason we use Linux. There is much less, problems in Linux.
That's one of the reason why
Yes.
Autodesk emphasizes a lot of their big softwares, which includes Maya, Arnold, and Flame, to be in Linux with loosed in Linux. So there is a reason to it because we don't have anything against window. Let me be very frank with you. There is nothing against window, but it has been seen that when it comes to handling heavy data, the very heavy data, somewhere or the other, window has been problematic. Do you agree with this? What's your
Yes,
experience with that?
experience with Windows is that if I'm working on some file and I'm working, like say for 3 hours, that file can get fatal error anytime.
Just because you are working on Windows?
Anytime randomly. That's the problem with Windows. Because what Windows does is that it has got multiple processes which has been happening at the back end, which you don't know. But if you open the Linux, terminal, and if you see that there will be no extra processes which will be happening at the back
And the
end.
whole processor is used only for that particular.
Yes, only for whatever Maya if you're using or whatever software you're using, you can see that in the terminal. But in Windows, if you open up the task manager, there will be thousands and millions of the tasks which have been running, right?
Why actually I brought up this particular question is like this is something that I wanted to share as an experience with myself altogether. Many times we do get such kind of a troubleshooting calls from all over, all across India. Okay, and majorly we are actually cleaning up Windows mess.
Correct.
Major 95% of the time we are actually working on the Windows mess only, and software fatal errors are occurring because of Windows. So that's something that Windows needs to see in for future
Yes.
if he wants to sustain in the market.
That's what they are now claiming. Like if they are saying that Windows 12 will be released soon.
Okay.
Uh, and
Even Windows 11 had that kind of an issue.
Windows 11 has a bit lesser issues in that.
Issue
If you
with that.
compare to Windows 7 or 8,
Those
we were like
they're baba,
crazy. Yes,
completely
yes.
crazy.
So,
We have actually faced a lot of nightmarish sort of work while we are working on Windows 7. That I totally agree.
so yes, Windows are claiming that in 12, definitely they will resolve all these issues where there will not be any background running extra activities happening under the table, which will then, because eventually your software is going to stable. Usually it uses the RAM, right?
And graphic card.
And graphic card. And if there are these multiple processes which are happening at the background which have been also using the RAM and your graphic card, then your software is gonna get not gonna get much of the uses of that, and eventually it crashes. That's the main problem.
Main problem.
Yes.
Yes, interesting. That's very interesting. See, this is something that you are actually hearing from the horse's mouth altogether. Those people who are actually working on both the operating system, Windows and Linux, both. All right. So देखो मैं इतना ही बोलूंगा सॉफ्टवेयर में क्रैश होता है ना तो सॉफ्टवेयर की गलती नहीं है वो देखना भी पड़ता है कि भैया हार्डवेयर कैसा है ओके और आप कौन से हार्डवेयर पे काम कर रहे हो उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है बट फिर भी इफ आई आस्क यू लिनक्स में इस तरीके के फेटल एरर्स का occurrence कितना होता है मतलब like
uh,
is there a major
no, no,
occurrence
it's
with
not.
this?
No, no, it's not major. Like, uh, of course, Linux में भी crash होता है files, लेकिन then it happened. I mean, if you ask me, where I have worked on, say, 20 GB का Maya file, then
बराबर
it happens sometimes
हाँ
because eventually that file is also heavy. Because I have, like as I said,
and we
bandits of.
also don't recommend to have that heavy file
Correct.
to be very frank.
Yes. Now,
And we ask our clients, please, is there any other way that you can also optimize this particular file further? That pays.
yes, yes, yes.
That pays, yeah.
So as I said that I am using Arnold,
Hmm.
also on V-Ray. So we use V-Ray mesh,
Hmm.
which creates very light mesh,
Proxy V-Ray.
proxy V-Ray mesh, which creates very light mesh, which so the lighter or whoever is working in the final department can actually rotate and maneuver the viewport. In
Hmm.
Arnold, we used to have these stand-ins,
Hmm.
Arnold stand-ins. So
Okay.
they are also the same thing. They are just a representation of a heavy, you can say, mesh, which is like, as I said, bandits of Golak, or yeah, bandits of Golak, where there is a train sequence where the train
Hmm.
is going. Now if you see, If you calculate, it was actually 5 kilometers stretch which we had created in 3D. So
Right.
the actual distance was 5 kilometers which we had created, and then there was this train track which was established through that five
Again,
kilometers.
spoiler alert.
Yeah. So yeah. So when a lighter was working, like my lighter or I was working, then I used to load that 5 kilometers cassette every time I'm working, and the files used to get heavy even though we had used the Maya stand-ins, but it was so heavy that we had to split that stand-ins also in multiple series, so like
So
mountain A,
I'm
mountain
curious to
B,
know
and
that
for
you
example.
haven't used USD for that matter
No, it was previously. So
previously.
now we have started using the USD, and USD is a big help. So
Right.
everyone, yeah. So there's one question by Raj Kiran Reddy. So he's
Mhm.
been asking that he was a lighter in Pixel Art
Pixel Art
Studio,
Studio,
having any
Vishakhapatnam.
experience.
Oh, Vishakhapatnam. Yes.
So, Raj Kiran, I'll only tell you that unfortunately the market is a bit unstable right now, but soon, within 3 to 5 months, it is going to open again, and it is going to open again with a bang, because there was many things which have been kept on hold in India, and there are multiple factors which are international also, which is based on US, because most of the Indian work is coming from that side. So they are now on the verge where everything is getting clear. So there is possibility where we'll get jobs. Whoever is looking for the jobs are going to get, but it is going to take 3 months, maximum 3 to 5 months. So till the time, as you have asked, go and learn all these many things. Like if you have worked on Maya, go and try and work on some other softwares. Explore yourself, because that is very important.
Increase your skills.
Increase your skill sets.
Invest on your time
Exactly.
in yourself.
Invest on yourself. Learn new different things. Like if you're only lighter, go and learn, maybe say compositing. Go and learn maybe animation, or maybe something which is related to your. I tell my artists personally that you should at least know your next and your previous department's work. So if you know the work which is happening in your previous departments, something comes to you, you can fix it actually. If you are under the huge pressure, you can fix it on your own and you can send it ahead. Okay, now in compositing, there are multiple compositor who usually comes to a lighter and tells them that this is wrong, the pass is not working. At that same time, you can open up the comp file and you can tweak that and you can show it to him that, hey, this is working fine. I think you have been using it very wrongly, or maybe you have been using it a different way. So there are these things. So work on yourself and learn, and just keep some patience. Industry is definitely going to boom again for sure.
We see. I would also add up in this one. We have also faced this kind of crunch before, and still we are here. Okay, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
we had faced this crunch in 2008.
2008, 2009 was a big
Big.
time where there was a crazy recession which has happened.
Now that happened naturally, and this is happening artificially because there was
Yes.
even during COVID, the animation department was not having such kind of a problem because
In fact, it was reverse effect. It
reverse
was booming.
booming.
Like an artist who was getting paid double in animation industry in COVID times. If you are switching something, companies were paying double because some work was not getting done because of the lockdown and everything. Then if he is switching, companies were paying him double because you come and work for us and we'll pay you double. So I think animation, medicine, and after that animation industry was so on boom in COVID times. But yeah, this is a very hard time which everyone is facing. So it's okay. Have some patience. We will
And
be.
meanwhile, the technology is also getting evolving.
It's true.
And see, if anybody has any conception that oh Maya is a bit old and new softwares are coming, yes, new softwares are coming, but you have to understand here that Maya is also evolving at the same time, and it is as we were discussing USDs and further the things are going to be integrated with AI pretty soon. I'll be also taking further sessions on that so that people will be able to understand what exactly we are talking about. So in future, we will be also getting more and more evolved in what exactly is going on in the industry. And yes, we will be sharing our experiences as we are been doing here. Okay, there is also one more question. Vaishnavi Kulkarni. Hello, sir. I'm a 3D modeling artist. Cow. Cow. Okay. I don't know why she actually that's artist cow. Okay, okay, that must be you. I have started learning lighting. Any tips for the beginner with where to start?
Okay. Hi, Vaishnavi. Glad that you asked this because I get very less questions about lighting, especially when I'm going. I don't know why. So yeah, it's good that you have started lighting. Lighting is, if you ask me, it's a very interesting thing. So I will tell you that everyone has phone, right? You have phone, even everyone has. So go and click outside or wherever you feel, whenever you feel that there is a good lighting condition which is happening, try and click that. So what happens is whenever you click, there are two things which are important things which happens. A, that you will see that a light is hitting any object which is good, or B, the composition, the framing of your composition, that is going to happen. So try, and as you'll start doing it, go on your PC, load that image, look at it, and see that what is exactly happening, how the light is reacting, how the bounces are generating. If it is a night light, then if there is a bulb, how the glow is happening. So in my show reel, if you see, there are multiple places where there are beams and everything, the lights and night lights. If you go back, uh, yeah, a bit back, where this is fire and everything, no? हाँ थोड़ा पीछे पीछे, हाँ, और थोड़ा पीछे, yes. हाँ,
Yes.
so now if you, हाँ, that was a good frame. पीछे वो कार आता है ना, that,
Hmm.
yeah. So if you see, now this car has this fog light, right? For example, so this fog light has been, so like when we were doing this, we actually it was a time of cold only, we had gone out somewhere, okay, where there was this fog and all. So that time we switched on our car lights and we actually clicked those lights to just to see how the fog is
The
reacting with
live
the light.
example.
So
Yes.
that was the live example, and then we incorporated that into this. So that is very important. So start clicking, okay, and you will definitely see that what is
Yeah,
happening.
that's a good shot actually. Right. So,
Yeah.
any other questions if you would like to? Let me just check whether there is any other questions. Is it? Sorry, I have to bring it over here. Yes, there are more. Okay. Oh, actually, we have answered most of the time. Okay, before we wind up, I'll just quickly give you a briefing about what exactly we had a conversation. This was this entire session and everything was actually been brought by Archons, formerly known as Capricorn. Now, Capricorn was now Archons is a global partner with Autodesk. We are global platinum partner with Autodesk. Our presence are right from Australia till US. And this is our journey when it comes to Capricorn. That earlier it was like part of WinZero, and ultimately it's been procured by a French company known as Monia. And our motto is like to have a sustainable environment, right from the impact from environment to global our customers, to provide them top quality services, and the software solutions that we actually offer. They offer, and we don't use the term just to make sure that our client get only what they need, but at the same time we also give them client what they are required. I mean, like, the term why I'm using this way is like, because sometimes they say that I need this, but when we actually speak with them, it turns out to be, oh, they actually required this part, okay, and not the entire part. So that's our motive, to make sure that the client gets the correct solution. So further sessions would be also be we will be also continuing more of sessions like this. Earlier, just to give a summary, I had actually taken a session on Substance Painter, Adobe Substance Painter, and today we actually did a session with very specific on the M&E industry and the current scenario which is going on in M&E industry by Mr. Ravindra. And this is our my contact details. If you have any queries or any questions, do get back to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And do follow us on LinkedIn as our page, Arkan's Media and Entertainment Solution. So that's it from me, and thank you so much for being with us, Ravindra. And we will be doing such kind of a sessions also. If the audience have any specific topic, please do let us know in our feedback forms that will be actually given to you through your mail. The recording of this session would be also given to you if you have registered. Okay, so that's it from us, and this is me, Jignesh, and Mr. Ravindra Ade. If I'm actually pronouncing your Adate. All right, I'm so sorry. Adate, he would be actually, he has been with us for around now 2 years, right? We have been interacting with him on various other topics, and we are actually seeing him grow in his field. And all the best for you, and all the best people, all the best to all the people who have attended the session today. So this is Jignesh signing off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Ken?